Hey guys, welcome back to EV Hustle. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So today let's talk about autopilot. Hope you guys ready. Let's jump straight into it. When we talk about autopilot, there are two schools of thoughts: LiDAR and camera. So LiDAR is used for companies like Waymo, and camera are used by companies like Tesla. So today let's talk about what's the difference. And what is LiDAR? LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging, is similar to the traditional radar in that it uses pulses of electromagnetic radiation to detect nearby objects. So traditional radar uses radio waves. LiDAR uses laser to see the surrounding environment. So LiDAR would bounce off their laser lights off of objects that surrounds it, millions per second, and the car measure the changes in distance when the laser pulses bounce back to the vehicle. So kind of like sonar in a sense, right? And so some of the advantages of LiDAR is pretty much it's very accurate and it's precise. And one thing is that it gives a three-dimensional image to work with, as what you kind of can see here, right? So when they were doing this, Tesla was in kind of a 2D version, but now their new version itself is a 3D, and they're releasing that beta. So I'll talk about it a little bit more in a second. And some other stuff is that, it saves a lot of computing power because you're using the instrument to measure the distance, and you can see and kind of know the distance between the objects next to you, so you don't have to compute for it. And however, the bad side, the downside of LiDAR is that it's quite expensive, right? You can see that it's some of the Google system originally ran up to like 75,000. Some are bringing it down to 1,000, but it's kind of hard to determine how many of these LiDAR would a vehicle need to work properly. Another one that's kind of alarming is the interference and jamming. So when these kind of projects would scale up and having more of these vehicles on the road, all these laser and such like that can jam one another, and what it does is that it can potentially blind the vehicle itself, and your vehicle will be put in a very, very dangerous situation. So this one right here, I think it's still kind of under investigation. So there's where it's saying that LiDAR has limitations where it cannot see through fog, snow, or rain. There's some news that it has gotten better, and that it doesn't really affect it, right? So these are the two important parts where LiDAR doesn't provide information that camera can typically see. So this comes to like, word on the sign, the color of the stoplight. And if you really think about it, LiDAR is very designed for a specific kind of location, right? So what if we use a car that has LiDAR and for autonomous driving, and then we put it in a different country? It's hard to detect, and also with the signs, it will be very difficult because it can't sense color and such, right? So that's a huge downfall. And another is that it's very bulky. You probably have seen it before where the car is driving around and it has all this huge equipment on top of it or surrounded, and it's quite difficult. Now for camera itself, the approach that Tesla is adopting. So in camera, you can see that they put all these cameras around the vehicle to capture the car. And the crazy thing is that once they have all the image, there's a machine learning in the back. There's an AI. It's called neural network, where it analyzes all these data and measure, or it gives like a distant value of where the object is at and such. So since this Tuesday, next Tuesday actually, Tesla is going to release its new version of autopilot. It's a beta version, and only a few people have access to it, which is really, really crazy if you think about it. So it's kind of like a mesh between the individual driver and machine learning. Obviously, very, very, very little of human interaction itself. It should be full autonomous. But in the case if there does need some kind of clarification, the human driver is there to kind of help it. And from machine learning, it will become better. So that's a huge, huge step forward. So yeah, I mean, I think another thing that this doesn't bring up is like, say for an example, what if you found another algorithm or another way to kind of like measure or mathematically calculate the distance more efficiently, more accurately. With the LiDAR, it's difficult because it's actually hardware. While these cameras itself, even though they're camera, but they take the pictures, and in the back you can write software to actually hugely make it more efficient in calculating those. And it's the same thing that we actually saw this. Tesla came out with their new labeling system. I think it's called 4D labeling system, and now they're able to label the images in a 3D format, so the car itself can see more of a 3D view. Now that is huge game changer right there. And when you think about it, they didn't need the cars to have new hardware at all. Think about that. That's pretty cool. Now in the future, if they were to write even a better software or even upgrade, again, they don't need to upgrade their hardware. They just have to upgrade their software. So huge step ahead. So other than the Tesla Autopilot news, there's some pretty cool news out there. So Tesla just said that they're going to they're slashing the prices. So from the Model S long range, it's going from $74,990 to $71,990. And the Tesla Model S went from $94 to $91. And also in the behind the scene, I heard that Tesla is also increasing the range itself. You know, there's a lot of great things. So Tesla, when you buy it, it's ever so increasing small stuff and making the car a lot better, right? So one interesting is that Lucid introduced that they're going to unveil their base model in a sense at $69,900. So that's that's cheaper than the 7,100, or just say 72,000. I mean, so what did Elon do? Well, he went back and he said that and tweeted that we're going to lower the price to $69,420. That is such a troll move. That's such a troll move. And this number always comes around. So when he was selling shorts, it was $69 and 420 cents. I mean 420, so it's 42 cents in a sense, right? So it's a huge troll on that. And the great thing to take from this is that competition are here and customers are benefiting from it. The prices of each market are lowering, so you know, at the end we're getting cheaper EVs. So in the long term itself, it's great news for EV market. And also, you know, it's not so good for the oil industry, since better car, cheaper car, more people will adopt it and less people will adopt oil. So yeah. Great stuff. Anyways guys, that's all I have for you today, and I hope you guys have a good one. Take care.